Welcome back to Pocket Change Coins, where every coin could be a hidden treasure. First, we're revealing coins that might be worth a fortune right under your nose. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our hunt for rare and valuable finds. Let's dive in. We're talking about the United States half-dollar coin 1776 to 1976D, a coin that's as rich in history as it is in value. This coin was issued to mark the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The U.S. government wanted to create a coin that reflected the significance of this landmark year, and thus, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial coin was born. The design features a bold and patriotic theme, celebrating the United States' history and its independence. But there's more to this coin than just its symbolic meaning, it's also a treasure in the world of numismatics. Let's take a closer look at the design of the 1776 to 1976D half-dollar. On the obverse, you'll find a drum surrounded by 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies that declared independence from Britain. The drum has a very distinct Liberty Bell in the center, which also represents freedom and unity. This design was created by Gilroy Roberts, who designed many coins during the mid-20th century. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a modified version of the eagle, a symbol of the strength, courage, and power of the United States. One of the things that make this coin so fascinating is the way it was minted. The 1776 to 1976 half-dollar was produced in massive numbers to commemorate the bicentennial. In fact, millions of these coins were struck and circulated throughout the country. However, with time, certain rarities have emerged, making some of these coins incredibly valuable in the world of coin collecting. The fact that this coin marks such an important historical event means it has a special place in the hearts of many collectors, but let's talk about what actually makes this coin valuable and what you should be looking for. The 1976D half-dollar, minted at the Denver Mint, is one of the most sought-after coins from the series. You might think that since so many were produced, these coins aren't worth much, but that's where you'd be wrong. While the majority of the coins in circulation are worth only a fraction more than their face value, certain rare variations can make this coin worth far more. Let's talk about the condition of the coin. As with most coins, condition is one of the most significant factors when determining its value. The 1776 to 1976D half-dollar was mass-produced, meaning that many of the coins that were used in daily transactions have been worn down over the years. The details of the design can fade with time, and some coins might even show signs of scratches, dents, or discoloration. However, well-preserved coins, those in near-mint condition, with crisp, clear details, sharp edges, and no visible signs of damage, are highly valued by collectors. Now, let's move on to minting errors, something that always excites collectors. When it comes to the 1776 to 1976D half-dollar, there are a few errors that can make this coin a true gem. One of the most coveted mistakes collectors are on the lookout for is a misaligned die error. This occurs when the dies used to strike the coin are not properly aligned, leading to an image or design that's off-center. If you happen to have a misaligned die error coin, you've just found something highly valuable. Another potential error that adds value is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, creating a double image. This could happen to any part of the design, but it's particularly valuable if the double strike is visible on the date or the Liberty Bell. Coins with double die errors are rare, and as a result, they're extremely desirable to collectors. A double die error could send the value of your coin skyrocketing. In addition to minting errors, the rarity of a coin can also drive its value. While millions of 1776 to 1976D half-dollars were minted, only a fraction of them have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, and even fewer have unusual characteristics or minting errors. The rarity of these high-quality or error-prone coins adds to their collectible appeal. And if you happen to have a coin with an unusual feature, it could make it worth far more than you might expect. So, how much could a 1776 to 1976D half-dollar coin actually be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to have one of these coins in exceptional condition or one that features a rare minting error, the value could be impressive. In general, These coins can be worth more than face value, especially when they're in good to excellent condition. However, if you have a highly rare minting error or an extremely well-preserved coin, the value could be much higher. Some of the rarest versions of the 1776 to 1976 D half-dollar coin have been known to fetch as much as $150,000, yes, you heard that right, $150,000 for a single 1776 to 1976 D half-dollar coin. That's how much a well-preserved example or a coin with a rare error can potentially be worth on the market. So, if you have a bicentennial half-dollar tucked away in your collection or buried deep in your change jar, it might just be time to pull it out and take a closer look. You might have a coin worth more than you think. The bottom line is that the 1776 to 1976 D half-dollar coin isn't just a piece of American history, it's a collector's treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether you have a coin in perfect condition or one with a minting error, you might be holding onto something that's worth far more than its face value. And who knows? You could be the next person to find a rare, error-filled coin worth $150,000. Second rare coin, we're diving into one of the most exciting coins in American numismatics, the 1972 D half-dollar coin. This coin may seem like just another piece of currency, but when you peel back the layers of history and rarity, you'll find that it has the potential to be worth much more than you might think. If you're new to coin collecting or even an experienced collector, this coin might surprise you with its value and hidden treasures. The 1972 D half-dollar was minted during an interesting period in American history. The United States was in the midst of significant political and economic change, and the design of the coin itself reflects both the continuation of the tradition and the spirit of the times. As part of the ongoing series of coins featuring President George Washington, the 1972 D half-dollar continued the classic design introduced in 1932. The reverse side, showcasing the Washington Eagle, was a symbol of national pride and strength, a theme that would continue through the decade. But what makes the 1972 D half-dollar stand out? It's all about the rarity and condition. While millions of these coins were produced, few have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. This coin's value is heavily influenced by how well it has been preserved and whether or not it features any unique minting errors. These errors, which can range from misaligned dies to double strikes, can dramatically increase a coin's value, and that's exactly what we're going to explore today. Now, let's talk about the design itself. On the obverse, we have the timeless image of George Washington, the first President of the United States, created by John Flanagan. His portrait is iconic, with the familiar inscriptions "Liberty" and **** in God We Trust, along with the year of minting, 1972. Washington's face is portrayed with great detail, giving the coin an almost regal appearance. On the reverse, we see the eagle with its wings spread wide, a symbol of strength, freedom, and the unity of the United States. The eagle is encircled by the inscriptions, United States of America, and half-dollar. The coin's design encapsulates the proud history of the United States, but as we know, it's the rarities and mistakes that can truly make these coins worth a fortune. So, what are these potential rarities that could make your 1972 D half-dollar worth a small fortune? Well, the most common factor for increasing the value of a coin is its condition. A coin in near mint or mint condition, free from wear and tear, is highly sought after. Coins that show very little signs of handling, with sharp details and lustrous surfaces, are often the ones that fetch top dollar, but the real thrill for collectors comes when they find minting errors. For the 1972 D half-dollar, there are a few mistakes that could make the coin incredibly valuable. The first and most sought-after error is the double die. This happens when a coin is struck twice by the minting press, causing part of the design, usually the letters or numbers, to be slightly offset. A double die error on the 1972 D half-dollar could be worth a significant premium due to its rarity. Another possible error is the misaligned die. This occurs when the dies used to strike the coin aren't properly aligned, resulting in an image that's shifted on one side of the coin. Misaligned die errors can make for a strikingly unique piece, and collectors will pay handsomely for a coin like this, especially when the misalignment is extreme. Also, the 1972 D half-dollar can be off-center, meaning the design is stamped off the edge of the coin, leaving part of the coin blank. An off-center error can make a coin visually distinctive and appealing to collectors. These kinds of coins are considered mistakes, and their uniqueness is what drives their value up. If you've been fortunate enough to stumble upon a 1972 half dollar with any of these minting errors, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth much more than its face value. Even coins that aren't in pristine condition but have these errors can fetch a premium. But let's say your 1972 half dollar is in near perfect shape and has no errors at all. Even without these rarities, the coin still holds value due to its historical significance and the fact that it's a part of the widely recognized Washington half dollar series. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. A standard 1972 half dollar in average condition is worth just a little above face value, around $1 to $2 at most. But when you factor in high-grade coins in mint condition, and especially if there are minting errors involved, the price can rise dramatically. And here's the kicker, a coin with the right characteristics, especially those with double die errors, misaligned dies, or off-center strikes, can be worth an incredible $130,000. Yes, you heard that right, $130,000 for a single coin. Imagine coming across one of these rare beauties in your collection or even finding one in your pocket change. In conclusion, the 1972 half dollar is not just another coin from the 1970s. It's a piece of American history that, with the right condition or minting errors, can become a collector's dream. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting out in the world of coins, keep an eye on this one, it might just be the one that brings you a small fortune. Third expensive coin, we're going to talk about a coin that's been a part of American history for over a century, the 1918 half dollar coin. This is not just another coin from the early 20th century. This is a coin with deep historical roots, rich in symbolism, and, most importantly, a coin that could be worth a small fortune today. If you're a collector or someone just getting into numismatics, you'll want to stick around as we dive into the story, rarity, and value of the 1918 half dollar. Before we talk about its value, let's take a moment to appreciate the history behind this particular coin. The 1918 half dollar was part of a series of coins minted in the aftermath of the First World War, during a time when the United States was transitioning into a new era of power, influence, and industrial strength. It was also during this period that the United States was solidifying its place as a world leader, and this coin, bearing its iconic designs, stands as a testament to that evolving identity. Now, the 1918 half dollar isn't just any half dollar. It's part of the Walking Liberty half dollar series, a coin that was designed by Adolph A. Weinman and is considered one of the most beautiful coins ever minted in the United States. The Walking Liberty half dollar was struck from 1916 to 1947, and its designs are timeless. On the obverse, we have the image of Lady Liberty walking toward the sunrise, draped in an American flag, with her right hand outstretched, symbolizing hope, freedom, and prosperity. It's one of the most iconic depictions of liberty, and it captures the spirit of the early 20th century perfectly. On the reverse, we see a majestic eagle standing proudly, wings spread wide, clutching an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. The design on the reverse speaks to the nation's resilience, its commitment to both peace and defense. This eagle is not just any symbol, it's an emblem of the United States' power, and it beautifully reflects the patriotism and national pride of the time. But here's where things get even more interesting. What makes the 1918 half dollar so special? Why are collectors so eager to get their hands on one? The first factor is rarity. The 1918 half dollar was minted in large numbers, but because of its age, many have been lost, damaged, or worn down over the years. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are incredibly rare. And when you find one, it's not just a historical artifact, it's a valuable investment. Now, for all you error coin hunters out there, the 1918 half dollar is also famous for its potential minting errors. Minting errors are what make certain coins so desirable among collectors because they are unique and often impossible to replicate. One of the errors that collectors search for in the 1918 half dollar is the double die. Double die errors occur when the coin is struck more than once by the minting press, which causes certain details, like numbers or letters, to be doubled. If you happen to find a double-die 1918 half dollar, you've stumbled upon a rare treasure. Another error that can increase the value of a 1918 half dollar is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not aligned correctly during the minting process, leaving part of the design off the edge. These kinds of errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after because they make the coin unique. When it comes to the value of the 1918 half dollar, the condition of the coin plays a major role. A coin in worn condition, with obvious signs of handling, may only be worth a few dollars above its face value. However, a coin in excellent or near mint condition can be worth much, much more. Coins that have been well preserved, with sharp details, a lustrous finish, and no significant damage, can fetch a premium. The most exciting part? If you've managed to find a 1918 half dollar in mint condition, or if it has one of those rare minting errors, the value could be staggering. Coins like these have been known to sell for upwards of $170,000. Yes, that's $170,000. That's right, your 1918 half dollar could be worth a small fortune, depending on its condition and whether it has any unique characteristics. What makes the 1918 half dollar so valuable in today's market is not just its age, but also the historical significance behind it. It's a reminder of the time when the United States was emerging as a global superpower, and it encapsulates the American ideals of liberty, strength, and perseverance. The coin is a beautiful work of art, with deep symbolism, and it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. So, how can you tell if your 1918 half dollar is worth anything? First, inspect the condition of the coin. Look at the details on the obverse and reverse to see if the coin has any obvious wear or damage. The more pristine the coin is, the higher its value. Next, check for any minting errors, such as double dies, misprints, or off-center strikes. These can significantly increase the coin's worth. In summary, the 1918 half dollar is not just a coin from the past, it's a piece of American history. Its stunning design, rich symbolism, and rarity make it one of the most sought-after coins in the world of numismatics. If you're lucky enough to own a 1918 half dollar in good condition, or even one with a minting error, you could be holding on to something worth a fortune. Now, we've got a fascinating coin to talk about, the 1998 half dollar coin from the United States. If you're a collector, or even just someone who's curious about rare and valuable coins, you're going to want to pay close attention to this one. This half dollar, despite being from a more recent year, holds some intriguing secrets that could mean big value for anyone who happens to own it. Stick around as we explore the history, rarity, and potential value of the 1998 half dollar coin. It might just surprise you. Now, the 1998 half dollar isn't one of the earliest half dollars like the iconic Walking Liberty or Franklin half dollar. Instead, it's from the Kennedy half dollar series, which has been in circulation since 1964. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced shortly after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy as a tribute to the late president. It's remained a key part of American coinage ever since, with the design of Kennedy's portrait on the obverse and a heraldic eagle on the reverse. But, why does the 1998 half dollar stand out? You see, most of these coins are not rare. They were produced in large quantities at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why you may think a coin from the 1990s doesn't have much worth. However, there's much more to the story than meets the eye. What sets the 1998 half dollar apart from others is the condition in which it's found, and certain unique characteristics that could make it a highly valuable collectible. First off, when it comes to rare coins, condition is key. Most of the 1998 half dollar coins are in circulation, meaning they were used in everyday transactions and show the usual wear and tear. However, for collectors, finding a coin in near mint condition is like discovering a hidden treasure. The sharpness of the design, the clarity of the image, and the lustrous finish on a well-preserved coin are what collectors are looking for. If you happen to own one of these half dollars that has been kept in pristine condition, it's worth paying attention to. But there's more. The 1998 half dollar is known for certain errors that could significantly increase its value. One of the most intriguing types of errors you may find is a double die, a minting mistake that causes certain features of the coin's design to appear doubled. These errors can be subtle, but to the trained eye, they're unmistakable and extremely desirable to collectors. A double die error can make a seemingly ordinary coin worth a fortune, so if you've got one, it's worth taking the time to look closely. In addition to double die errors, another error that collectors keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be off the edge of the coin. This type of error is rare, and because it makes the coin unique, it's highly coveted by numismatists. If you find a 1998 half dollar with an off-center strike, you may have stumbled upon a rare find that could fetch a significant price. Now, you may be thinking, why would a coin from 1998 be worth anything close to a fortune? The truth is, collectors often focus on coins that have historical significance, rarity, and unique qualities. Coins from the Kennedy series are always in demand, especially those that are in excellent condition or have notable minting errors. Over time, the value of these coins can skyrocket, especially if they're part of a rare batch or if they come with an error that wasn't noticed when they were first minted. So, what exactly is the value of a 1998 half dollar coin? Well, if you happen to have one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, or one with a rare minting error like a double die or an off-center strike, you might be sitting on a potential windfall. These coins can fetch as much as $70,000 in the market today. Yes, $70,000 for a 1998 half dollar. That's right, a coin from 1998, a relatively recent year in the grand scheme of things, could be worth a small fortune depending on its condition and any unique features it has. Imagine holding onto a coin you found years ago or inherited, and then discovering that it's worth $70,000. It's always a thrill to stumble upon a hidden gem in your collection, and this particular half dollar could very well be one of those treasures. So, if you happen to have a 1998 half dollar tucked away, don't just pass it off as a regular coin. Take the time to examine it closely, check for any signs of minting errors, make sure the condition is top-notch, and if you're unsure, get it professionally graded. In summary, while the 1998 half dollar may seem like just another modern coin at first glance, it has the potential to be incredibly valuable to the right collector. Whether it's in perfect condition, has a minting error, or is simply part of a well-preserved collection, this coin could fetch a premium price on the market. So, always keep an eye out for rare finds like these. They might just be worth $70,000. Next coin, we're going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1973 half dollar coin. If you're into coin collecting or simply curious about the hidden gems that might be lying in your change jar, this video is one you won't want to miss. We're about to explore why the 1973 half dollar coin has caught the attention of collectors and how it could potentially be worth a small fortune. Stick with us to the end, and you just might be surprised by what you learn. Now, the 1973 half dollar coin is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, which has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1964. These coins were issued to honor President John F. Kennedy, following his tragic assassination in 1963. The design of the coin features a profile of Kennedy on the obverse and an eagle holding an olive branch and arrows on the reverse, symbolizing peace and strength. But, what makes the 1973 half dollar stand out in the world of coin collecting? Well, the answer lies in its rarity, its unique characteristics, and the condition in which it's found. Let's break it down. First, the Kennedy half dollar series was minted in large quantities throughout the 1960s and 1970s, with 1973 being no exception. Millions of these coins were produced, so at first glance, it might seem like there's no way this coin could be worth much. However, as any seasoned collector will tell you, it's not about how many coins were produced, it's about the rarity and quality of the individual coin. Over time, many of these coins saw heavy circulation, which caused them to lose their pristine luster and unique characteristics. For a 1973 half dollar coin to become valuable, it has to be in outstanding condition. That means it must have been carefully preserved and protected from the wear and tear that most coins suffer over the years. Uncirculated or mint state coins are the real treasures. These are the coins that have been kept in top-notch condition, free from scratches, tarnishing, or excessive wear. The more flawless the coin is, the higher its potential value. A coin that has sharp details, a clean surface, and still retains its original shine is exactly what collectors are looking for, but condition isn't the only factor that determines the value of the 1973 half dollar. There are also certain errors and unique features that can make this coin worth significantly more. For example, minting errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin. One of the most sought-after errors in coins is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned or imperfect, causing some of the features, like numbers or letters, to appear doubled. If you happen to find a 1973 half dollar coin with a double die error, you could be sitting on a real prize, as these types of coins are highly coveted by collectors. Another type of error that could make the 1973 half dollar coin more valuable is a misstruck coin, such as an off-center strike or a clipped planchet. These minting mistakes happen when the coin is improperly aligned during the striking process, resulting in a coin that looks unusual or even flawed compared to the others. To the right buyer, however, these imperfections make the coin even more desirable and unique. Collectors are always looking for coins with these types of errors because they are rare, distinctive, and historically interesting. A 1973 half dollar coin with an error could fetch a much higher price than a regular one in average condition. Some of these rare, error-prone coins can even be worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the nature of the mistake. Now, you might be wondering how much a pristine 1973 half dollar coin could really be worth. Well, if you happen to have one of these coins in exceptional condition, especially one that has a minting error or a unique feature, the value could be quite substantial. In fact, a 1973 half dollar coin in top-tier condition, especially if it's a minting error coin, could easily sell for an eye-popping $120,000. That's right, $120,000 for a coin that was minted in 1973. It's important to remember that not all 1973 half dollar coins will fetch this kind of money. The vast majority of these coins are still circulating or have been heavily used, making them worth only their face value, just 50 cents. However, if you happen to find one in perfect condition or one with an error that makes it unique, you could be looking at a substantial windfall. So, what should you do if you think you might have a valuable 1973 half dollar coin? First, check the condition of the coin. If it's in excellent shape, with little to no signs of wear, it could be worth more than you think. Next, carefully inspect the coin for any signs of minting errors, such as double die or off-center strikes. If you find something unusual, don't hesitate to have the coin graded by a professional coin grading service. A certified grade from an expert can help determine its true value and make it much easier to sell or auction. In conclusion, the 1973 half dollar coin may seem like an ordinary coin at first, but its rarity, condition, and any minting errors can make it worth a substantial amount of money. If you're lucky enough to own one of these highly prized coins, it could be worth $120,000. Last unique coin, we're diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or somewhere in your change jar, waiting to surprise you with its potential value, the 2000p half dollar coin. Now, you might be thinking, a 2000 half dollar? Isn't that too new to be worth much? Well, hold on to your seats, because what you're about to discover could change the way you think about modern coins. You see, the 2000p half dollar coin is not just your average coin. There are certain characteristics and unique features that make it highly desirable to collectors and potentially worth a lot of money. Let's start with the basics. The 2000p half dollar is part of the ongoing Kennedy half dollar series, which was first issued in 1964 to honor the legacy of President John F. Kennedy. Over the years, this series has seen several different designs and minting variations, and while most coins from this series are not particularly rare, there are some key exceptions, and the 2000p half dollar could be one of those exceptions if you know what to look for. The 2000p half dollar was minted in Philadelphia, denoted by the P to mint mark, which is crucial for determining its origin and authenticity. This coin was produced as part of the ongoing efforts to keep up with demand for circulating coins. However, in terms of overall mintage numbers, this particular coin might seem common at first glance. But as collectors know, rarity is often tied to condition and specific traits rather than just mintage numbers alone. the real reason the 2000p half-dollar coin might be worth far more than its face value lies in its condition and any errors it may feature. Coins that are kept in pristine condition, especially uncirculated examples, can fetch a much higher price in the market. A coin that has been well preserved and shows sharp details and minimal wear is a gem for collectors. If you happen to come across a 2000p half-dollar in mint condition, you're already looking at something more valuable than just a regular 50-cent piece, but what truly makes the 2000p half-dollar coin a potential goldmine is the possibility of mint errors. Minting errors can occur for a variety of reasons, but they're something that collectors absolutely love to find. These mistakes make the coin unique and are seen as highly desirable. In fact, coins with errors can be worth a great deal more than those without. So, what should you be looking for when examining a 2000p half-dollar coin? One of the most sought-after errors in coins is the double die error, where the design features, such as the date, motto, or lettering, appear to be doubled or misaligned. If you happen to find a 2000p half-dollar with a double die error, it's likely to be worth significantly more than a regular, error-free coin. This type of error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is improperly aligned, creating a double image. It's important to carefully inspect the coin for signs of this error, especially around the date or "In God We Trust" lettering, which are the most common areas affected by a double die. Another potential error to watch out for is a misstruck coin. A misaligned die or off-center strike can result in a coin that appears unusual, with parts of the design cut off or misplaced. These types of coins are often highly sought after because they stand out from the rest of the standard issue coins. A 2000p half-dollar with a misstruck design could be worth considerably more than its typical value. Additionally, don't overlook the possibility of clipped planchet errors, where part of the coin is missing due to a mistake during the minting process. This type of error happens when a coin is struck with a planchet, the blank metal disc used to create coins, that was not fully formed. As a result, part of the coin may be missing or imperfectly struck, which could make the coin stand out as a unique piece. So, what does all of this mean for the value of the 2000p half-dollar coin? While it may not have the legendary status of coins from earlier years, like the silver Kennedy half-dollars from the 1960s, its rarity and the condition in which it's found can significantly impact its market value. If you happen to possess a mint-condition 2000p half-dollar, or better yet, a coin with an error, you could be looking at a substantial profit. In fact, some collectors have paid significant amounts for these error coins when they appear on the market. If you're fortunate enough to find a well-preserved, error-free example, it could easily be worth more than its original face value of 50 cents. We're talking about a potential value of $35,000. That's right, $35,000 for a 2000p half-dollar coin that has the right mix of condition and error characteristics. If you're new to coin collecting, you might be thinking, how do I find a coin like that? Well, the first step is to go through your change. Inspect coins from the year 2000 that have the P mint mark and look for the telltale signs of mint errors or excellent condition. You can also check with dealers, attend coin shows, or even use online auction platforms to track down these valuable coins. To sum it all up, the 2000p half-dollar coin may look like a typical modern coin at first glance, but its condition, rarity, and the possibility of minting errors make it one worth keeping an eye on. So, next time you get your hands on a 2000p half-dollar, don't just toss it aside, take a good look, because it could be worth a lot more than you think. $35,000, to be exact. So, start inspecting your coins carefully, and who knows, you might just be holding a rare and valuable treasure in your hands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep learning more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting coin discovery. Happy collecting, and good luck on your coin hunt.